Welcome to this series, Arunachal, the Southern Tibet, Episode 2, the Archaeological Evidence, Part 1. In this episode, I will discuss the substantial archaeological evidence to determine whether Southern Tibet is an integral part of China. Southern Tibet is not a geographical term that has emerged only in modern times. In fact, its history can be traced back to ancient periods. A large number of historical documents, maps, and archaeological discoveries have proven that Southern Tibet has been an integral part of China's territory since ancient times and has an integral connection with Tibet. In this episode, we will illustrate the archaeological evidence to establish the relationship between China and Southern Tibet. In ancient Chinese texts, there are many records indicating that Southern Tibet belongs to Tibet. For example, the records of the Western regions from the Tang Dynasty clearly document various place names and tribes in Southern Tibet, which were under the jurisdiction of Tibetan kingdom. For the sake of convenience, in illustrations, all evidence has been categorized in chronological order. First is the prehistoric period, followed by the Shang Dynasty, Western Han Dynasty, Sui Dynasty, and Tang Dynasty. This episode will cover the evidence from prehistoric period to the Tang Dynasty in chronological order. In the upcoming episodes, we will illustrate the evidence from the Northern Sung Dynasty, Yuan Dynasty, Ming Dynasty, Qing Dynasty, and modern period. According to the research of archaeologists, there were traces of human life in southern Tibet as early as 50,000 years ago. And like the development of all ancient civilizations, they created production tools, raised livestock, and grew food crops. The first artificially cultivated farmland in Tibet appeared at Sadistang, near Thutang county of Sanan city of China. Archaeological evidence indicate that around 2nd century before Christ, the inhabitants here gradually formed tribes and alliances were established between them, with their leaders referred to as Zang, who adopted a hereditary system of power transmission during the feudal period. Archaeological evidence indicates that their burial sites are similar in architectural style and structural characteristics to ancient Chinese castle architecture, proving that the region has a close connection to ancient Chinese civilizations. The Shang Dynasty, which reigned from 1600 before Christ to 1046 before Christ, was the second dynasty in Chinese history, also known as Yin Shang. This was the first dynasty in China with direct written records from that period. It lasted for 17 generations and 31 kings, reigning for over 500 years. Bronze weapons such as onion-headed bronze spear and the bird-shooting knife appeared in the Shang Dynasty, demonstrating that the Central Plains had developed iron tools and military technology. There are plenty of such weapons and tools available in museums today from this period. The increasingly powerful dynasties in central China required more grassland, resources, and horses, thus advancing westward beyond the Qinling Mountains. These bronze weapons have also been discovered by archaeologists in several regions of southern China. The Western Han Dynasty, which reigned from 202 before Christ to 8 Anno Domini, was a central dynasty in Chinese history, following the Qing Dynasty. With the 11 generations and 12 emperors, the Western Han Dynasty lasted for 210 years and was economically a very affluent empire. During the Western Han Dynasty, Emperor Wu, the seventh king of the Western Han Dynasty, who reigned between 156 to 87 before Christ, dispatched Qiongjie to the western regions. Qiongjie on his journey westward had passed through areas such as Sichuan, Yunnan, and Guizhou, confirming that southwestern region was already under the jurisdiction of the central authority at that time. According to the literature of the Han Dynasty, there was a highly civilized country in southern Tibet called Subi. The Sui Dynasty, which reigned for 38 years from 581 Anno Domini to 681 Anno Domini, was a unified dynasty in Chinese history. The Sui Empire advanced south and westward from central China. This empire had a well-defined relationship with the Subi kingdom in Tibet. Southern Tibet was part of this Subi kingdom. According to the Sui book records, during the Sui dynasty, Tibet became very prosperous, with tens of thousands of residents. Historians also believe that Xuanzang, the famous monk of the Tang Dynasty, learned scriptures in India, and the women's country that he mentioned passing through during his journey was Tibet, because the management method of Subi at the time was ruled by the Queen's order. The southern Tibet region has been connected with various empires in China through Sichuan Lu, which became prosperous during the Sui, Tang, and Sung dynasties of central China. Xuanzang walked through this road after completing his journey from India. The Tang Dynasty was one of the most powerful dynasties in China, reigning from 618 AD to 907 AD for 289 years. During the Tang Dynasty, the southwestern region became part of China's unified empire, with the Sichuan Lu of the Tang Dynasty representing the central area of present-day southern Tibet. The western garrison possessed considerable military strength and practical experience during this period. During the reign of Emperor Xuanzong Li Chen, the 17th emperor of the Tang Dynasty, who reigned from 1846 Anno Domini to 1859 Anno Domini, multiple military expeditions were conducted during his period against India, Persia, and Central Asia, which revealed the relationship between the Western region and Chinese Empire. Contemporary rulers of Tang Dynasty in Tibet became powerful. During the early years of 7th century, the Tibetan kings walked out of Sanan city and moved towards Lhasa, thus making their capital city to Lhasa. The 32nd generation Zhang, named Sung Zang Ganbu, unified the Tibetan plateau and established the Tibetan kingdom, the political, economic, and cultural center of the kingdom gradually shifted from Sanan city to Lhasa. King Sung Zang Ganbu had two wives. One of them was Princess Wanchen of the Tang Dynasty, and the other was the Princess of Nepal. Together with the king, they influenced the native religion of Tibet, leading to the emergence of a new form of Buddhism. In order to commemorate and honor the monarch who established the friendship between Tang Dynasty and the Thupo people, temples were built, including one by side of his tomb, housing sculptures of monarch Sungsan Ganbu and his wife Princess Wenchen. These temples are having Chinese architecture as essence and core. There are burial sites of Tibetan kings in Qiongjie County near Sannan city. They contain the tombs of many prominent figures, including Sanpu, meritorious ministers, queens, and concubines, who profoundly influenced the Tibetan region, beginning their territorial expansion from the Sannan area. The architecture and design of the monuments and tombs resemble that of Chinese architecture. During the reign of Thupo in Tibet, the Sanfu divided the entire territory into 6 large administrative units, known as Ru, with more than 10,000 households residing in each unit. During the 7th to 8th centuries, the Thupo kingdom and its people acquired many advanced techniques and experiences from the Tang Dynasty, and the cognate relationship lasting over 200 years also benefited them from the support and patronage of the Tang Dynasty. People-to-people contact became frequent. Thus, this is how Thupo achieved such brilliant and splendid civilizational results. Well, due to time constraints, we shall conclude this episode here. And in the next episode, we will continue with the archaeological evidence from the Northern Sung Dynasty onwards. Thank you. Please stay tuned. Till then, wish you all happiness and peace.